Hello, and welcome to the Mimosa Matters podcast series. In this series, we will bring you interesting perspectives on the clinical, research, and technological perspectives for near-infrared spectroscopy imaging, or NIRS, and introduce you to MIMOSA Diagnostics. I'm your host, Douglas Queen. Thank you for tuning in and joining us on today's podcast. We will be hearing from Renée Gibbons, the Senior Marketing Manager for MIMOSA Diagnostics. We're also joined by Dr. Matthew Regulski. Dr. Regulski is the Medical Director of the Wound Care Institute of Ocean County, New Jersey, in the US, and Dr. Traci Kimball, the Chief Medical Officer and Founder of the Wish Clinic in the US. She is a board-certified wound management specialist physician with expertise in hyperbaric medicine, vascular medicine, geriatrics, and surgery. Welcome, Renée.
Thanks, Douglas. So excited to be here to talk about the enhancements to our wound measurement feature.
Great. So let me start our conversation by asking you a few questions. Tell our listeners about MIMOSA Diagnostics' customer-driven device improvement approach.
Absolutely. So at MIMOSA, innovation isn't just about adding new features. It's about improving what matters most to our customers. And the best way to learn just what matters most to our customers is by getting that feedback from them of ways we can optimize our solution to better serve their needs and fit more seamlessly within their existing clinical workflows. We are so fortunate at MIMOSA Diagnostics to have what we call the MIMOSA community. And the MIMOSA community is comprised of our MIMOSA users who are just as committed as we are to delivering technology that benefits other clinicians as well as the patients through improving those patient outcomes at the end of the day.
Great, thanks. What improvements were made to the wound measurement feature?
For sure. So when we look at the enhancements that were made to the wound measurement feature, the key ones are as follows. So a new magnification window was added to the wound measurement feature, and really that is to help ease and streamline the tracing of the wound contours. Our editing toolset was refined with UI and UX enhancements to make even the smallest adjustments that much easier for our users. We've introduced head-to-toe mode, which helps protocolize wound assessments, so there is accuracy, consistency between the users who might be completing those wound care assessments. And the last thing we added was our changes since feature. And what that offers is a drop-down functionality, so you can look from this week to last week how a patient's wound has progressed in terms of sizing, or even go back to day one and see what that wound area reduction has been.
How have the customers been involved in the improvements?
Great question. So our technology team has an agile approach to product development that truly thrives off of our customer feedback. So from day one, our customers have been involved in this process by providing the feedback that helped us prioritize some of these features and functionalities on our own roadmap. And then throughout the process, in terms of product designs and the beta development, our users and beta testers have been in there testing the features, providing, again, more feedback so we can refine that process, those enhancements, the features that you see within the update, even more before we brought them to market. It truly was such a collaborative effort with these beta testers, and we are so lucky to have them as our MIMOSA users.
Great. Sounds fantastic. How is the new version being provided to your customers?
Absolutely. So again, this is a software feature update. So any and all of our software feature updates are delivered over the air. And what that means is last week, we set the update to happen. It was delivered directly to our customers' devices. And then that way, again, we're not impacting our customers' workflows, but we are ensuring they have access to the latest MIMOSA features at all times.
Great. If any of your customers have questions, who should they contact?
If any of our MIMOSA customers have questions about these new enhancements or even how to use the wound measurement feature in the best way possible, they can contact support@mimosadiagnostics.com and we will get you in touch with the best member of our team to support your needs. And if you are not yet a Mimosa user, but are strongly considering it, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at Renée@MIMOSADiagnostics.com, and I too will get you in contact with the best member of our team to further those conversations.
Great. Well, thank you for being a participant in today's podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Douglas. We're really excited about these new enhancements and excited to deliver even more in the future. Thanks again for your time.
Welcome, Matt.
Welcome, Doug. Thank you for having me.
Great. So let me start our conversation by asking you a few questions.
Sure.
How did you find the customer-driven improvements MIMOSA Diagnostics made to its wound measurement feature?
Oh, I think it is much more user-friendly. I think it's even more simpler to use. But even though that it's more simpler, it is way more precise. I really like the added features of being able to draw on the screen, or if you're not happy with what you did, you can draw yourself, or you can have the computer figure it for you. You know, we as physicians, we have a few minutes with each patient. So you have to make this quick and easy, and that's very difficult. And I don't want to lessen the incredible capabilities that Mimosa has, because they have such a great staff. They were able to listen to what physicians want to make things easier for them, because when you're seeing 50 to 60 patients a day, you can't take 10 to 15 minutes to take a picture. So those adjustments, and never, not that they had, that was the way before, but you know, us as clinicians, we like it to be as quick as possible. And I can't imagine the amount of expertise that goes into the optical engineering that these folks are doing. It's incredible. It really is. It's an honor and it's a privilege to be a little teeny part of that team. But it's incredible. It's much easier to do, and it seems like it is really garnered so much more information for me because it is quick and easy. I can take lots and lots of pictures. And again, as it always is great for me to be able to show patients real time what is going on in their wound bed and justify the things that we need to do, and it allows the patient to take an active part in their care. And what I mean by that is, as they can see, as the wounds are progressing, or perhaps the wounds are getting worse because of the intrinsic comorbidities, particularly in the diabetic population, that disease entity affords the patient. But either way, we can actually show patients what is occurring on the molecular level. There's nothing like it.
Great, thank you. And how practical has it been in the measurement of your patients' wounds and tracking their progress longitudinally?
Oh, well, I mean, it's incredibly practical, it's intuitive, and it's needed. You have to be able to have real-time exposure and real-time justification of the things that you are doing. The microvasculature is 80% of our circulation. It's a much better predictor of what is going on in the wound as far as wound healing and outcomes than doing things like Dopplers, ABIs, PVRs, those types of things, because I've had multiple patients where we've done the Mimosa imaging on, and we can see good flow, 80 to 90% oxygen. Then you look at their Doppler, because it's only looking at the large vessels. It's horrendous. Multiple segmental occlusions. I've seen TBIs around 0.4 on these patients. Otherwise, if you didn't have Mimosa, now you got to send them off to vascular and have them looked at, and perhaps angioplasty, bypasses and things. But that's the one great thing about the Mimosa. It gives me real-time proof of how the patient is doing. Now, did I still send those kind of patients over if they have claudication, if they have ischemic rest pain? Absolutely. I think that is just part of good medicine. But there's a good population of people where we can just watch with the Mimosa. And you'd be surprised, and I have a bunch of patients we're going to publish on that had those terrible Dopplers, but it had good flow or adequate flow with the Mimosa, and they went on to heal. So that's going to be a great dichotomy to show, because again, with the Doppler, all you can do is look at the macrovasculature, where with the Mimosa, we're looking at the microcirculation, which is 80% of the circulation, a much better predictor of the wound healing potential.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Matt, for your time today.
Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it.
Welcome, Traci.
Hello.
Let me start our conversation by asking you a few questions. How did you find the customer-driven improvements MIMOSA Diagnostics made to its wound measurement feature?
Well, I actually participated in a lot of that, and I really appreciated the expediency of the optimization of the device. We had requested that a head-to-toe feature be added because old dogs are hard to teach new tricks. There had been a few of our technicians that had been taught to measure wounds head to toe in a clock face pattern. And so MIMOSA's optimization has allowed that convention to memorialize on the digital imaging platform system. So I found it very, very appropriate enhancement for the digital platform for our program.
Great, thank you. And how practical has this feature been in the measurement of your patients' wounds and tracking their progress longitudinally?
It's a very practical device. Most importantly, it's an accessible device. It's very small, compact. And of course, these new features make it very practical because of the way that some of our technicians have always been trained to measure wounds. I especially also like the ghost feature. That feature allows us to appropriately orient the camera to the limb and or the anatomy of the patient, of the wound. Obviously, we're not just taking pictures of limb ulcers or foot ulcers, but we're taking pictures of torso ulcers or ulcers on the head. And so having that image is very helpful to reorient if there's a different technician between those imaging episodes. So it actually improves the ROC curve. And of course, for our program, when you do have a variance of scopes of practice that are using the device, it's very intuitive and therefore very practical for our program. And of course, always helpful for our patient outcomes because it's helping us make those point of care decisions about tissue perfusion and potential infection control and management of those patients as well.
Great, well, thank you for your time today, Traci.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Renee, Matthew, and Traci, for giving our listeners an in-depth insight into NIRS imaging, MIMOSA Pro, and its utility to measure and track wounds in clinical practice. Well, that's our podcast for today. We hope you've gained some new perspectives on NIRS imaging and its utility in wound management. Be sure to visit MIMOSA Diagnostics at www.mimosadiagnostics.com and visit our social media channels. Add your comments and learnings. We want to hear from you.